I'm here today with Gary Townsend at One Devonshire Gardens, the head chef for just over a year now, and we're just here to talk about his experiences in his first year, how his history and past positions have shaped his philosophy and ethos around the kitchen. So Gary, I mean, with your first year here, just about Christmas time, I mean, how was that, and have you managed to formally put your stamp on One Devonshire here in Glasgow?
It was a tough time coming in straight at Christmas. We got through the Christmas period, which was a full-on month, and then in January we started to change a few wee things. Changed the whole a la carte menu, just more to fit my kind of style, keeping with classic kind of dishes, but making them a bit more modern. Also, we tried to keep it fairly balanced, because I need to remember that I'm still in a hotel at the end of the day, so I can't go too crazy all at once. But yeah, it's been a tough year, but we're slowly turning the corner now to get where we want to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you come in around the Christmas time, you're going to be hit with that deluge where you can't really start making that change. And regardless, obviously, your style, classically trained, you've come from places like Leon Clune with Simon Rogan, Tom Kitchen at the Kitchen in Edinburgh, Paul Foster down at Tudingham Mill. I mean, you've got a very classical background, you've got a very kind of seasonal background, and that is reflected in your dishes.
No, a big change in my career was when I was with Paul at Tuddenham, which he now has his own Michelin star in his restaurant at Salt. He was the first guy that really kind of built a fire inside me to push further and to push where you want to be in life. And through working with him, he was what pushed me on to go and do stages at the Kitchen and Long Clune and everywhere else I've been. So no, he was a massive influence in my career, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, Glasgow has a bit of a history with kind of almost trying to shake off any Michelin star restaurants that come in here, and One Devonshire has it's kind of gone between, and same with ones in the city centre. I take it that Michelin, you want to bring that back into One Devonshire and kind of keep it in Glasgow.
Absolutely. We can try our hardest and we'll see where it goes, I'm not putting a time scale on anything, but we can just do what we do, and hopefully it'll come, but yeah, just do our best.
It is, it's I think Glasgow is probably one of the toughest cities to crack for that. You've got to balance that kind of sophisticated kind of way of cooking, but probably the style of people just like a big feed kind of thing, but it's...
No, yeah, I totally agree. And Glasgow seems to be such a diverse place for food now. Every other place is a food outlet now, so it's a hard place to crack, is Glasgow. But at the end of the day, like you said, we have the history here, and it's One Devonshire Gardens. So, I'd like to think that we have a chance.
It is. It's. I think of all the places, this is the place to have that kind of Michelin star that would be held here and stay here. I think one of the things I've noticed in your cooking is you're a massive seafood lover, and you love Scottish food. I mean, any particular favourites around that kind of area?
Scallops or langoustines are, I think, we're in Scotland, so you can't not have them on the menu somewhere, in my opinion. There's a whole range of seafood, but personally for me, scallops and langoustines, they've always been there in my cooking career, and they're still here today. So it's just one of the things that will always be on the menu, I think.
Yes.
Whilst I'm here or anywhere.
Yeah, it's not a bad standard to always have on the menu. There are worse foods on. You can put it on there. I mean, I know that obviously you don't like liver, which I can understand. But one of your loves obviously is, you also mentioned India in previous kind of little Q&As you've had. I think, is that something you want to kind of investigate in a way of cooking, or is it just a cultural?
It's a mixture of things. I love Indian food myself. I kind of try and bring tiny, small influences into the food that we do here. There's to be a salad puree with a spice or something through it, or a sauce or something with a different spice. But it's just a big love of mine, and the fascination of cooking with those spices and the techniques that you use is, I think it's a technique that is quite hard to come by. If you can do it properly, then I think it's very, very well done.
I think it's kind of the opposite end of almost of classical cooking, where you're trying to keep things simple, in the sense of you've got a few ingredients and you're trying to get the most out of them. The other end of the scale is you have all these ingredients, all these spices and mixes in kind of the Indian subcontinent and East Asia, that it's almost another skill set to learn.
That's right. And then, like I said before, you know, I need to remember where I am at the same time. You know, I can't go too crazy in a restaurant that's inside a hotel. So I kind of need to keep everybody happy at the same time. So you know. Fine line. You can't quite cater to the Glasgow love of curry, but you can kind of introduce elements. I mean, there's along with India. I mean, you've got a few kind of like culinary kind of not just heroes, or maybe people that you admire probably more. Like one is it Gordon Ramsay, and I think people kind of forget, take away the TV side of it, just what an established and kind of important cook he was, not just in obviously for. When you're studying, but when you know, just currently even in the UK. I always remember like Gordon Ramsay. I think it's a 3-star chef cookbook, is one of the first ones I ever got, and I still remember now, like looking through the pages and still looking at that book and thinking, you know, wow, look at this, you know, that's where I want to be in the future. And you know, I even still remember writing a letter. This is way before emails, and ready to send it to Royal Hospital Road. Then I watched the program Boiling Point, and then I was just like, no, I don't think I'm quite ready for that. You know, so it was just one of those things that never happened, but you know, it's still there. Yeah,
I guess that kind of atmosphere, that kitchen atmosphere, is quite. It was very. It's a very kind of 90s, early 2000s kind of feel to it. You know, I think everything probably kind of calmed down a bit since then. There's been a much more. I mean, obviously, you're in a hot kitchen, but there's a much probably more sedate atmosphere. Probably.
I think so. Yeah, as the time's gone on, I think it's quite an old school thing. You know, everybody has their moments in the kitchen. You know, everybody loses their temper, but at the end of the day, we're all there to do a job, and so that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose when you've got that kind of stress levels kind of go up, the kitchen it is a stressful. You've got the heat, you've got the time frame, you've got everything being precision, almost like precision engineered in a way to get it out. I mean, there must be kind of points at the end of the day where you think with the stresses kind of up there, and you're thinking, what's your kind of valve that you kind of let go to kind of release the pressure? Where is it you go to kind of unwind?
There's not really much chance for that, to be honest. I try and get to the gym every morning before I come into here. Apart from that, that's about the only time I get to get out of here at times.
Using the morning the morning after to kind of unwind.
To take it out on the night before.
No, I could kind of understand that in the sense that when you've had a hard day, you just want to hit the sack. The person you mentioned earlier was Paul Forster at Tooting Mountain. You said he's got his own place. I take it, when you met him, were you still a bit of a blank canvas, or were you? Yeah, because when Paul came and took over where we was, I was still a chef de partie. I was just still learning the trade. I was only 24 at the time, and he came in from Sapane's, a 2-star restaurant now. So he brought the knowledge that nobody had ever seen before in a place that I was in. So it was a big eye opener, for something that you love doing. And to see someone bringing all these new ideas and techniques and everything in, it was like I said before, it was like a real fire in your belly time, to get you going, Yeah, there's that kind of seeing something done not just well, but something done to like a masterly level. It does it. You can stand in awe just watching, these people. And Sat Baines is someone you've been to as well. So like I said, Paul pushed us on to do these stages and to go and work with these various places just to get the experience, and that still follows with me today. I do the same with my guys. I try and push them to go to places just to bring that bit of experience back and that knowledge so we can push on to push further on. Yeah, there's that kind of sending people out into the world to say, this isn't the be all and end all. There's there's other things out there. It's a good kind of ethos to have for other chefs,
Yeah.
so they don't feel that they're stagnating. Not that anyone not that you want to say that anyone's food is stagnating, but you've always got
always
to
learning. Yeah, you're always learning. It's quite easy to be in a kitchen 4 or 5 days a week, and you're stuck in those four walls. But there's more to life than what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's places that are better than us and doing different things. So I encourage them to get out and go and see that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the kind of, like, previously you've, in a different kind of interview, you've mentioned kind of up and coming, like looking at like food like vegan diets with, it's kind of taking kind of a foothold in the industry. And I guess in one respect you could say that it's pushed kind of people to kind of up their kind of vegetarian vegan game. It goes beyond here's the goat's cheese and the vegetable lasagna kind of offerings that were always on the menus back in the day. I mean, it's almost like a different culinary world kind of out there for people to kind of go and view as well.
Yeah, I think as times have changed, and people's requirements have changed, and so we need to evolve with it, whether you like it or hate it. That's just the way it's going now. So we try to incorporate things so it's not so different, but it's still doable for everybody, So
yeah, I think it's that kind of bringing the kind of the classical styles to what were traditionally just afterthoughts of the menu. They're becoming more, entrenched, with Glasgow being one of the big vegan cities of the UK. It's quite a kind of an interesting world that's opening up there as well.
It is, and sometimes it's a difficult one, because if you're on the spot and somebody comes in and they're a vegan, you're kind of thrown in the headlights a wee bit, but you need to think on your toes. But fortunately, like I said, we're prepared for that. We have a separate vegan menu for somebody if they come in, or whether that's vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, so we're very prepared for it.
Gary, it's been a fascinating wee insight into your day-to-day here in your first year. Many thanks for taking the time out to
Cheers, thank you.
to have a chat with us. Many thanks.
Thanks.